we really need to talk about the absolute Wild West that software development has become lately, especially with this massive controversy surrounding Corgi. Corgi is a very buzzy, Y Combinator-backed insurance tech startup that suddenly found itself deep in hot water earlier this week. It all started when Papermark, which is the maker of a popular open-source data room software, publicly accused Corgi of straight-up stealing their software and passing it off as a brand-new original product. Corgi fiercely denies this, explicitly telling TechCrunch that absolutely no code was used from Papermark. But here is why people instantly believed the initial explosive allegation made by Papermark co-founder Mark Seitz on X. Seitz completely blew up the timeline because he shared side-by-side screenshots showing Corgi's newly released product, cleverly named Data Room. Using the exact same language for the exact same features as Papermark, practically word for word. Just to give you some context, Deal Room software is essentially highly secure document sharing. It is famously used by startup founders all the time to pitch venture capitalists and securely send them massive amounts of supporting materials for deep due diligence. Seitz was so incredibly furious that he went as far as to publicly call Corgi's new product a massive copyright and license infringement, and straight up labeled the whole thing as fraud. Obviously, Corgi's co-founder and CEO Nico Lacqua saw the tweet catching fire and promised to immediately investigate. Soon after, he posted his full detailed denial on X, bringing his own receipts to show that the underlying code was indeed functionally different between the two competing products. While Lacqua strenuously pushed back on the heavy allegations of a strict license violation, pointing out that stealing enterprise code is a totally different legal claim than simply copying a visual style, he did make a massive admission. He admitted that his team relied heavily on a process called vibe coding for the design flow, which directly led to the replica features. For those who do not know, vibe coding often involves feeding an AI screenshots or general concepts of a competitor's app and telling it to build something that feels just like it. So, looking back, Lacqua posted that they absolutely should have leaned more into their own language and visual choices, instead of heavily taking cues from existing products in the space, admitting that the massive oversight was totally on them. A Corgi spokesperson tried to do some major damage control with TechCrunch, confirming that the offending features were indeed vibe-coded, but claiming they have already been changed to downplay the entire messy situation. The spokesperson insisted the glaring issues were heavily isolated to minor visual elements on just 2 peripheral settings pages, and firmly reiterated that no actual code was ripped from Papermark. Though both Lacqua and his spokespersons then tried to flip the script, accusing Papermark of throwing these massive accusations around simply because Corgi is suddenly offering a much cheaper, often free product that directly competes with Papermark's software as a service model. Lacqua even tweeted that he gets why it stings to face free competition and said he would be mad too. But honestly, this clearly was not just a case of sour grapes when perfectly identical features and completely identical wording were blatantly used. This whole drama opens up a massive new philosophical and legal question for the tech industry. If vibe coding makes it so incredibly easy to flawlessly copy the look, the exact feel, and literally every single function of someone else's hard work, while technically not copying every single line of the underlying code itself, how much does it actually matter if the source code is not perfectly identical? Legally speaking, the exact code is the only thing that matters right now. This is definitely not the same as that massive controversy over another Y Combinator alum, Pair AI, which fully admitted to directly cloning another open-source project and slapping their own license on it. But morally speaking, this is wildly ambiguous, and it is absolutely going to become increasingly common as AI tools get better. Dan Barrett, who is the founder of the agent operating system OpenProse, explained it perfectly on X. He asked, in a world where a bot can trivially copy the exact structure of something one-to-one even if the character-level code diverges, what makes one completely unacceptable and the other totally fine? Are our existing intellectual property laws just totally incidental to the old world of manual coding? Corgi is now vigorously trying to clean up the massive reputational damage, even issuing a harsh cease and desist letter to sites demanding he take down the viral tweet. Even the founder of Hello World Cafe got a legal threat for simply joking about the controversy. This just adds to Corgi's growing reputation for being extremely litigious and highly demanding, especially after Laqua went viral for saying he expects his employees to grind 7 days a week, pushing that deeply flawed hustle culture fallacy that more hours always equals more productivity, which decades of research proves is completely false. And yet, investors do not seem to care, as Corgi just raised a massive $106 million Series B1 at a staggering $2.6 billion valuation.